Tucker Carlson is confused about a great many things. Some of it, though, I feel like he could just Google or like work out for himself, talk to someone that he trusts, but he likes to work out in public how little he understands about some core stuff about being a human, in this case, about sexuality. Here he is talking about a governor.
Kate Brown was first elected governor of Oregon way back in 2015. At the time, there was not a whole lot going on in Oregon, so voters didn't ask many questions. The one thing they did learn about Kate Brown over and over again is that she is a self-described bisexual. Why is this relevant? Well, the media didn't explain. They told us, without exactly explaining what it meant, that this fact was historic and it was highly thrilling. Kate Brown's sex life was shattering ceilings. Woohoo! And yet, if you looked a little closer, you noticed something a little weird. Actually, Kate Brown was married to a man. Yes, he had a different last name, but he was still, as they say on TikTok, binary. He was a dude. That's fine, of course, but it was also a little confusing. How does having a groom at her wedding make Kate Brown an official member of the LGBTQ exclamation point community? No one bothered to ask. That kind of curiosity was forbidden. It was like wondering why we don't call Barack Obama half white, which he is. It's not allowed. Stop with the questions. Celebrate.
I understand that he's a very rich person who probably doesn't have many friends. He has a very sheltered experience. He was born an heir. I feel like someone could have explained this to you, Viviana. Of all, like, society's complicated. I get it. There's a lot of different experiences. I don't think bisexual is the most complicated thing to understand.
No, I find it hilarious that he thinks that the term binary came from TikTok. Like that was the first time we talked about binary. Where do we begin? I think the most salient thing is if you do not understand your own sexual identity and your own sexual ideology, you're not going to understand anybody else's. I don't think that he has ever really explored who he really is and understand who he is on a core level as a human being. So he's not going to understand LGBTQ and I, it's not exclamation. And so that's sad.
No, Viviana. You said I, but that doesn't mock it like saying exclamation does.
Yeah.
So sure, you might be accurate, but you're not condescending enough. Come on, this is media.
Yeah, it's really sad because he has quite a platform and there's so much hate towards the LGBTQ community. Unless you know, like your brother, well, my brother's different, it's really, really disgusting. But it makes me sad for him, honestly, because he has no idea who he is. In reality, he's never explored who he is in reality. So it's just like, I think thou doth protest too much, Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
figure out who you are, and then you'll understand what that means. And it's not her sexual behavior that people were commenting on. It's the fact that a woman who rejects or a person rather, who rejects or who accepts or who identifies differently than the norm is holding office. It wasn't anything about sex. So he's way off as usual.
I'm like trying to figure out what he thinks bisexual.
I've never seen you speechless, John.
What does he think a lesbian is then? Like I want to just sit him down and I want to give him flashcards of different like identifications and I want to see him define them. But briefly, let's acknowledge we get to do another edition of my favorite thing with Tucker Carlson. Stop saying you want to ask questions and just ask the question. And in particular, right now, I really want you to ask the question because I think the question is, what's a bisexual? Like, and it's really sad that you'd have to ask these questions. You have a smartphone, right? Google's on it. You could ask Jeeves.
He
Yahoo
might be
Answers,
afraid.
Probably still archived.
He might be afraid of if he Googles bisexual, then what happens next?
I don't know. He may not want it to be in his Google history, so we'll do it for him. When you look up bisexual, it says noting or relating to a person who is sexually or romantically attracted to people of two or more genders. That's, by the way, if you jump ahead of the next part, that's apparently at a middle school level. Like the middle schoolers understand that. But Tucker, his whole thing is, he did this thing about like Adam Kinzinger crying in Waffle House. And there was another segment, I don't even know what he was talking about. He does these very long drawn out segments that are like supposed to be funny. No, see, Zachary says in the chat, can you guys not recognize satire? No. He can't recognize satire, and it has nothing to do with whether or not what we just saw was supposed to be satire in some way. It wasn't funny. It wasn't illuminating. It had nothing to do with anything that has to do with satire. All it was dryly condescending. And she's not making a big deal about any of this. So who's the target for any of this? None of it makes any sense, except the core mission, which is to give his audience people to hate. He wants they need someone new to feel superior to literally every day. They may not have any idea who she is. They may not know anything about Oregon, but they can briefly feel like, haha, they think she's a bisexual, but she doesn't comply with what we think they should be. Haha. It's not funny. It's not deep. It's not insightful. It's nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a 2-minute hate that takes 60 minutes to get through.
It is. It's exactly that, stoking the fuel of just hate. That's exactly it, John. I want to know what he thinks exclamation is, though. Is that like yes? Is like what is the exclamation?
I like that one though. I don't know. I don't know.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.